Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. Let's play some Ostranauts. This is episode 12 of this particular series, and I'm glad you could join me. I've been reading through some of the comments that were left on the last couple of videos, and it looks like I made a couple of mistakes. One is everybody was asking why I didn't wait 4 seconds to have the fixer's inventory update and then resell stuff. And it's just because I didn't notice. I don't know if that's something that I consciously go and look for or not. It didn't really occur to me, if I'm being entirely honest. Didn't even notice. Yeah, that's why it is a good habit to get into, to kind of pay attention to when he is going through his cycle of updating his wares. I'm not sure why I'm moving there. I was going to basically install this real quick. Got to hit the right keys to make that work, though. We're going to put this here. The fixer can not be interested in something and, 4 seconds later have a desire for it and can make you quite a bit of money. So that is something to pay attention to when you're playing. I will try to be a little bit better about doing that. I also was asked why I wasn't using shift click a few episodes back on picking up floor and things like that. And honestly, I don't think I knew that was an option exactly, at least not to do what it does. And so there you have it. Most of those oversights aren't intentional. That one, though, I'm not sure that I knew that was an option. So what I'm thinking we're going to do here is there are tons of ships out there to be looked at. We kind of saw that in the previous episode when I was trying to decide where to go next. And what it came down to was there's a desire on my part to make money so I can buy my ship outright. I'd like to find a few other things. So I'm basically going to just do we're going to drive down the mortgage on the ship. We're going to try to find some of the higher end items and grab those and sell them. I think I will build out this way just a little more as well. Give myself a little bit more hauling space. And while we're here, we're still attached to this ship. I think it was the Ulterior Funk. I think that was the name of this one. Go check here real quick. This is the Iridescent Necropolis. Okay, so while I'm attached here, I was going to pick up some of the items that folks have said should sell pretty well. One thing I have run into a few times, and I don't normally hang out on a ship too long, so it isn't usually a big deal, but it can be, and that is the drift. When you connect to another ship, you may be moving in space relative to K-leg or wherever you're working out of at that particular time. And there is a way you can kind of minimize that, and I thought I'd point that out here real quick. What you can do is while you're connected, and you have to use baby steps, you have to use really small thrust increments in that to prevent serious damage to your ship. I don't have a tow bar, so any movement I do will damage my ship at least a little bit. But if you can minimize it and keep it manageable by dialing down the amount of thrust you're using. If I click on K-leg, it tells me my relative speed to it. And my assumption is going to be that I'm moving away from it with my relative velocities. And right now I have my back to it basically. So to see if that's the case, I'm going to basically just do some really gentle reverse thrusting. And yes, the relative velocity number is going down. So that means I'm currently moving away from the station. So I want to zero that out as best I can. I'm wondering if I can hit station keep actually. I didn't even think of that. Match speed. Will that slow me down? It looks like it is at least impacting the numbers. Let's see if that accomplishes that over time. It's not staying on though, is it? So, okay, there's probably a different use of match speed than what I'm trying to do with it here right now. Nonetheless, if we can slow this velocity down to close to 0, once you get to where your cross velocity is, you'll have to play with that one as well to get that number to continue to come down. But I basically want to have just a very gentle move towards the station. So I'm moving at about half a meter a second. As you can see, it's changing. So it's something I'll have to kind of play with to get it to a point that I'm comfortable with. I mean, so every minute we're going to be losing a meter per second. So let's assume we're going to be on this ship for 10 more minutes. What we'll do is bump this up, and we'll be initially drifting towards the station. But eventually it will slow itself down and it'll start to move away again. But at least I'm not moving at 10 meters a second away for the next, 10 minutes or 20 minutes or however long I'm here. This might be something to play with in the future to kind of see how that works. I would bet there's a way to get this to work with it. I just haven't figured it out yet. And right now I'm just holding down R to see if it cancels the speed. It does not seem to be doing that. Now this is slowed down a little bit. It's not ticking off quite as fast, but I'm not in danger of colliding. I mean, I'm 100 kilometers away, so this will be at 0 well before this is at 0. And we know that, if nothing else, because this number is not going down 100 times faster than that one. So we'll be okay. We'll actually be a little closer, hopefully, if I get everything done quickly. And that's kind of the goal right now. I'm going to go ahead and move out here, and I do want to check and see what I'm holding. A couple of things here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a little more space to kind of do my normal setup with how I arrange my bags and that. I'd like a little more space for crates. I'd like to find more crates. I still haven't really found a cache of those. I think there's 1 or 2 out here on this ship right now. I think I have enough space that I can work with. So we'll go ahead and make sure my helmet is on. I can see it in this graphic, right? They don't put a helmet on your dude down here. That might be something for them to consider in the future, just so you kind of know the status, whether or not he is ready to step out or not. Okay, and we're going to grab things that are effectively expensive. One of those being these turbo pumps. So we'll uninstall that, pick it up, drag it back to the ship, and sell it off. Someone mentioned that I'm passing up on a lot of money by skipping oxygen tanks. I think I'll give that a try here. I do know there's at least a couple out here. I don't know if nitrogen tanks give you the same payoffs, but I thought I'd go ahead and grab a couple of each and at least have a price comparison at that point. Okay, let's do this a little more intentionally instead of just clicking around randomly like I was just now. Come here. Yeah, I'm not really interested in the space payoff for that. The toilet, there are some other things we'll try to grab. And I have also decided I'm going to start doing repairs in place when I have the resources to do so, specifically oxygen and battery when I'm in this suit. Okay, we've already been through this ship. I know I had said I was going to kind of do a walkthrough to see if there were any important things I missed. There really weren't. There's a couple of turbo pumps. We do have the RCS intakes that are still sitting out there that I haven't grabbed. I probably will grab those. And like I said, I saw a couple of oxygen tanks and plenty of nitrogen tanks. One person did point out that the large tanks for use with your the drive, right, the torch drive, they are maybe not worth the effort in restoring in space and time that it takes to restore them. Time hadn't been something I'd really considered a lot, but it is a good point. It's something, well, I mean, you're playing a game and you have a limited amount of time you can do that, because if you're like the rest of us, you have a job you have to go to eventually, and when you're doing your job, you're not playing a game, right? So just something to be aware of. Now that's a standard pump. I was told standard pumps don't sell so well, and I would agree with that. They certainly don't sell at the same rate as the turbos. I'd say I'd rather have a standard pump in my cargo hold than nothing if I'm heading back to the ship, because I can sell it for something, right? But we'll go ahead and we'll try to find the big dollar items right now. One of those being this O2 tank. Let's see what we get out of that. We will need to repair these things, of course, or I should say restore. There is a subtle difference in the two, and I need to be mindful of the language I use. I get very critical when people misuse words, and I'm one of the worst offenders. Come back around here. We'll grab that nitrogen tank. I thought I remembered seeing another one. Maybe I didn't. I know there's other nitrogen tanks because we haven't gone to the intakes yet, but maybe there won't be another oxygen tank. So no problem. All right. Here's all that flooring. I kind of want to grab some of that, but I'm not sure. Now here's something I am going to go ahead and repair in place as best I can. The cooler. Coolers do sell pretty well. They are a relatively small footprint, right? I think there's 6 spaces. Motor torque screwdriver missing. So what that often means is that the battery's dead. Let's see if that's the case. So he's grabbed a regular screwdriver in the meantime. The battery is indeed dead. So let's go get that taken care of. I believe that is a GOT tool. It is. Here is the GOT charger. Inventory. Inventory, and then we'll just literally click, 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 and they're swapped. There we go. So we come back up here, finish what we were doing, I think, if I can find it again. I grabbed the screwdriver. I would have thought he would have continued. He did not. I'm not quite sure why, but that's okay. And then we will uninstall it and we'll restore it on the ship as we move back to K-Leg or at K-Leg, depending on how that works out. So it is it's a 2x2. I was thinking it was a 2x3. 2x2, even better. Maybe it's the CO2. Oh, it is. Okay, I just wasn't seeing it fully. Forget I said anything there, guys. There we go. And we'll come back out here, see what else we can find. I know there were a couple of thrusters that I had left here on the first pass. There's one of them. I'm not going to take this battery with me, but I am going to move it so that I don't have to drill through the hull of the ship when I drop that. Some folks have pointed out that you kind of control to some extent where the thrusters go if you have clear space around you to put them. And I kind of knew that. It's a little frustrating when it seems like, oh, this one needs to be repaired. We're going to do that in place. It's frustrating when it seems like you should have that space and the system doesn't recognize it and tosses it outside the hull. But you can improve your chances of it landing inside the ship by kind of clearing the space around it. And so that is what I will kind of pay more attention to doing as I go forward here. There we go, in the ship, perfect. I'll haul that back. And if I had the cart, which I'm thinking I might go ahead and buy one, I could have done a lot of this all in one trip. So I'm doing a lot of back and forth now that I don't have to be doing if I had the tools that I usually like to have. And I think we were up in here with that one. Yep, there's the battery. So those Kangs are up here as well. Slowed. I don't like running around at 16 speed. I feel like I waste a lot of time when I do that. And I am eating through battery right now, so I need to be mindful of that. We don't want to suffocate like the other guy did when his battery ran out. So here is a Kang system. We'll grab that. Again, repairing first, and then we'll grab it. Okay, there we go. Uninstall. Pick up. Drag home. Back at it. if I were planning on spending a little more time on this ship, I'd probably put some of my work lights down so I can kind of find the stuff a little easier. I'm expecting this is going to be a relatively quick finish for me here. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of these N2 canisters. There's another Kang right there. Do I have a... I don't think you can carry a canister in your hand. Nope, got to drag them. So, okay. Back to the ship. And I'm going to start paying closer attention to the prices of things, just because, if nothing else, so in 13, when you played in 13, the amount of time it took to do this kind of stuff was nominal. It really didn't matter. It was so quick. The repairs on this kind of stuff was really, really quick. You didn't have to pay attention to it. It didn't matter if your payout was only going to be $500 because it took no time. It was negligible, right? So I kind of have that mindset of doing these sorts of things. I have a rough estimate in my head of what the various parts should cost or should sell for. I think, first of all, my model is off a little bit. I don't really remember some of the nuance of things like the canisters. And so I probably need to pay a little closer attention to that. But also the work effort in repairing things to sell is significant. I mean, there's a small piece of me thinking maybe I should go ahead and fix the battery. They sell for about $1,000 on the black market and roughly the same at the licensed desk. I mean, that isn't too bad. It's $250 per square. The effort to repair it, though, is possibly where it becomes problematic. I think batteries repair pretty quickly, though. Go ahead and kick that up, yeah. And we probably should measure it, a complete spreadsheet or data analysis. We would measure how much time it takes to repair it, how much time it takes to restore it. I don't think you're affected by weight or mass for dragging things around from a time perspective. I don't think that's a factor, but you could certainly analyze a lot of different data that way. Make some better decisions than I make, that's for sure. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. Yeah, the battery, eventually I want like 6 batteries in my ship. And I know that my ship is not going to go to Venus and land in the atmosphere. This particular ship is a cargo hauling ship. That's what this is being built as. It's what I enjoy doing in the game. Eventually, as I've talked about, I'd like to find a towing bar. I need to look for that a little more explicitly, and maybe do some derelict work this time. Have had some comments in the comment sections of the videos that, hey, I've done some derelict work and it pays off. It was something that worked. There's a couple of people saying no, it wasn't really my cup of tea, and I get that. Different strokes, right? Okay, I feel like I'm missing a big section of ship here or something. I don't know. This is why I would normally put lights down. I thought this was going to be a quick hit. I was going to run through here and run around the edges and pick up all the pieces I missed. That's clearly not what's going on. So hindsight is 20/20, and if I had rethought that, I would have done all that in advance. Put the lights down. I'd know exactly where everything is. Next time. Maybe I'll do that next time. The next video where I go and work on a ship that I think I'm going to spend some time on, I'll kind of demonstrate how I do that when I'm just kind of having fun with the game, not recording it. And doing these recordings there's a factor of fun in it for me. Don't mishear what I'm saying, but it's different than when I can just sit back and not be on guard about everything I'm doing, if that makes sense. I don't like looking stupid or missing obvious things, and who does, right? Nobody likes that. It's very easy to do when your attention is split or you're just simply, having your thoughts guarded because you just don't want to do the wrong thing. One of my fears is teaching people the wrong way to do something in the game. I really, really dread that because that just leads to complication. It's not good for anyone, right? If folks mislearn how something works and they don't use it appropriately or ever figure out on their own that, hey, the guy who's making this video is an idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about, that can lead to dislike of the game for all the wrong reasons. And I never want to be responsible for that if at all possible. I think I've gotten all the good stuff out of here now. I do want to start grabbing things like thermostats for when I expand, but maybe I'm going to wait. Well, I guess I can do that this time. Oh, I was going to grab, I know I'm absolutely positive that somewhere in here there is a crate. I ran into it twice and I forgot to pay attention to where it was. I am going to grab the crate. That's going to be the last thing we'll do here today. And I know that a lot of you are screaming at your screen if you're paying close attention going, no, it's down that way, go that way. I can't hear you though. I'm sorry, man. I feel like it was right over here. I don't know. I'm hallucinating. Like the AI kind of hallucinated, not the drug-induced kind, or fever-induced or whatever. Okay, it's out here somewhere. It'll get tracked down. Okay, just out of curiosity, does this give me better lighting? Slightly better lighting. There was a small uptick there when I put that in my hand, so. Probably in entirely the wrong spot. Go left, go left. No, your other left. I know, it's here somewhere. I didn't already grab it, did I? No, I'm very certain I didn't do that. Well, I might just have to leave it for the next explorer. Let's give that a try. Okay, these are the, oh, there it is. I knew it was out there somewhere. Okay, so we're gonna, okay, I need to put the light down so that I can, yeah, the light made a big difference, didn't it? Gave me an area of light as opposed to a cone of light, so that was helpful. I hadn't really paid close attention to that, so in the future that might be something to consider if you're having trouble finding stuff. There we go. There's the crate. I'm going to start using the crate to I'll repair this one up, and we'll start using it to carry backpacks around. In the meantime, I'm going to wrap this up, and we will head over to K-Leg to sell this stuff off. Appreciate you watching, and I do need to make a few notes here, like don't forget your battery's about to die. Might need to look into an EVA suit battery charger and a couple of things like that, but I appreciate you watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and thanks for your time. I appreciate the time you all take to make comments and things like that as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would ask that you consider doing that. These are the kinds of videos I'm making, these are some tutorials on some complex games, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks again for your time, and until next time, fair travels.